What's up, guys? Welcome back to Vlogmas. We're at day 6 already, and today we're going to be talking about dupes. I'm actually going to do a full face of dupes, and we're also going to be discussing Makeup Revolution and why they get so much hate for duping products while other brands tend to get a pass. So if that sounds interesting to you, right after I play my catchy little Vlogmas intro, we'll dive into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in, and we'll start with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This is in the fair shade, and as most of you know, this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I'm even gonna say that I like the e.l.f. one a little bit more because it's not quite as glowy and shimmery. So the reason that I decided to make this video is because Makeup Revolution just announced that they're coming out with a brand new product, and it's called the Lip Swirl Ceramide Gloss. So this is gonna be $7, and it's a dupe for Givenchy's Rose Perfecto Liquid Lip Balm, which is $37. And I mean, the concept of a swirly lip gloss is really nothing new. I remember Maybelline's Kissing Coolers back in the 80s or 90s, and they were not like a liquid lip balm, but they had that swirly pattern. Also, Bonnie Bell had the Lip Shake from, I guess it was like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I know that Avon had a similar product around the same time called Lip Radiance. I know that Victoria's Secret also had a swirly lip gloss that was kind of like the same concept. And even that Sweet and Shimmer brand has one currently at Ulta. But Revolution not only duped the concept of a swirly lip gloss, but even the colors that they come in are incredibly similar. Like, you can tell that they were really trying to dupe the Rose Perfecto lip balm from Givenchy. So Revolution has been duping makeup since the beginning. In fact, they kind of started out as more of a dupe brand, and then as time went on, they started to branch out and create some more original products, and now they do collabs with influencers and also with big companies and movies and things like that. But I've been noticing that they seem to get more hate for duping products than just about any other brand, and I wanted to sort of dive into the reasons why. By the way, for foundation, I'm going to be using the Believe Beauty foundation in the shade Cashmere, and I feel like this is such a good dupe for the Haus Labs Triclone foundation. It has the same kind of finish and it wears the same on my skin. I just feel like they're so similar. So when Trend Mood had posted about this new lip gloss that they're coming out with, the comments were pretty brutal. One of them says, "Why are people surprised? They gained their following by duping higher end brands." Another person said, "Who did they steal from this time?" Someone else said they duped Givenchy, like, what the hell even? And yet another comment said, all they do is copy other brands, like, have your own identity. And these really were the top comments on this post with the most likes. And this was very shortly after she published it. I'm sure there are a lot more comments by now. So I started thinking about why Revolution gets so much hate for duping products when brands like e.l.f. can dupe something like the Hollywood Flawless Filter, which I just put on, and people go crazy for it, and it's selling out everywhere. For a while you couldn't even get it. I don't know if it's back in stock, but I remember when I first showed that on my channel and people were like, I can't even buy it because it's sold out. So it really got a very warm reception, and I think that people were happy to have a more affordable alternative to the Charlotte Tilbury. And some people did actually acknowledge this in Trend Mood's post. One of the comments said, "I'm sorry, I can't with how annoyingly toxic this volume following is. Everyone is so negative and hypocritical. All e.l.f. has been doing for the past couple of years is duping iconic products, and they receive nothing but praise, yet you pick and choose what brands can do it or not. Another person said, but when e.l.f. does it, all I hear is crickets. Like, be for real and don't say not, because you're eating up that halo glow. Next, for bronzer, I'm going to be applying the Soul Body from ColourPop cream bronzer in the shade Light, and this is such a perfect dupe for the Chanel bronzer. It's like the same color, same texture, it applies the same way, it's beautiful. So when it comes to brands like e.l.f., people definitely do have a point. I mean, they duped the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, they duped the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer with their Power Grip Primer, they have their Brow Lift versus Anastasia Brow Freeze, which I have both of them and they're pretty much identical. They also have the Wow Brow, which is basically a spot-on dupe for Benefit's Gimme Brows. So those are just the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure that there are more, but it just seems like lately e.l.f. has really gotten into the duping game a little bit more, and they're not being super subtle about it either. You can tell what these products are duping. But I think when it comes to e.l.f., a lot of people give them a pass because of who they're duping. So this one comment on Trend Mood's page said, it's not just because they duped some products, it's because they duped things from small indie brands that don't have the same kind of reach they do. e.l.f. sticks to duping the bigger Sephora brands. So that person actually hit on a really good point, and I think that's my number one reason why people get upset with Makeup Revolution when they dupe other brands. I'm just going to use the Alter Ego Shadow Kiss palette, and I'm just going to do a really basic brown smoky eye today. And by the way, all of the brushes that I'm using are from Profusion's line. So the bronzer brush I used is actually their buffing foundation brush, but these brushes are so good and they're really, really affordable, just kind of keeping with the affordable theme of today's video. So I'm just going to smoke out my lash line with the small firm eyeshadow brush from Profusion. So you guys might remember when Revolution was accused of copying Manny MUA's highlighter. He made an entire video about it, and he was really upset because it was a custom compact that he owned the rights to the mold for, and somehow Revolution got an exact copy, and I think their excuse was that they just bought the packaging that was already existing on the market, that someone else had created basically the same thing, and they bought it not realizing that it was a copy of his. But a lot of people really didn't believe Makeup Revolution when they said that, because they're kind of known for duping, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because Manny's brand, Lunar Beauty, is a smaller brand. They don't have the same reach that Makeup Revolution does. They're in drugstores, they're really easy to find, and they're very affordable. And then more recently, they duped a product from another small indie brand called Pink Honey, and they have their Brow Honey Glue brow product, which is like, it comes in a little jam jar, it looks like honey, and it comes with a spoolie. And Revolution came out with a very similar product called Honey Bear Brow Jam, and it came in that same little jam jar, and it also came with a spoolie, and it was so similar from the concept to the packaging. Not to mention that this indie brand is in the UK, which is where Makeup Revolution is. But again, Pink Honey is a company that I didn't even know existed, and I know of Makeup Revolution really well. So if I saw that product, I would definitely buy the Revolution one, not even knowing about the one from the smaller brand. And the owner of Pink Honey has a now viral video on TikTok where she's accusing them of stealing her product. Let's take a quick listen.
I don't even know what to say. I literally don't even know what to say. Obviously, Revolution have completely ripped off our product. Something that took years of like such hard work, and like we've had so much success, don't get me wrong, I'm so fucking grateful, but this has literally been like the worst day of my life. Like, I can't believe that this is happening. Since when have big companies been able to do this? Like, when did our community become about this? I know I look an absolute mess, but I don't even care. This has gone through a team of people. You've copied the name, you've copied the packaging, you've copied the product design, you've put the hole in the middle. That is literally, we were the first people to do that. You even called a lip gloss Pink Honey. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. We have to stop supporting big businesses that are doing this to small businesses. This isn't about making money. You're literally crushing people's dreams, people's hard work. It's not okay. It's literally not alright. I'm literally just heartbroken. I'm absolutely heartbroken.
So when you watch the video and you hear her speak about this product, or when you watch Manny talk about it in his video, you can really hear from the small business owners themselves how much this can hurt their business. And it makes the whole idea of the dupe just not seem as harmless. For some people, dupes are no big deal. For, I would say, a lot of people, it's a gray area, myself included, but it seems extra shameless when they copy a small business that doesn't have the same reach as they do, that can't have the low prices like they do. So of course, that could cripple a small brand because Revolution is more accessible and more affordable for a lot of people. Whereas with e.l.f., duping the Hollywood Flawless Filter, for example, isn't going to bankrupt Charlotte Tilbury. She's already a huge brand with tons of name recognition. She's in Sephora and a lot of luxury department stores, and people who buy high-end makeup are still going to buy that. They still know who she is, but people aren't necessarily going to know about Lunar Beauty or a company like Pink Honey. So I think when e.l.f. dupes a really well-known brand, it just doesn't quite seem as sinister. Now, you could argue that the latest dupe from Makeup Revolution is duping one of those bigger brands, Givenchy, but I think people are more upset about their behavior in the past than they are about this latest dupe that they have. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Biggie Lash mascara from LA Colors. I feel like this is the closest dupe that I've found to the Thrive Cosmetics tubing mascara, and it's only a few dollars at Dollar General, so it's a really good one. And then the second reason I think Revolution gets a lot of hate when it comes to dupes is because people feel like the dupes from Revolution don't really live up to the higher end product that it's duping. And honestly, that's the whole fun of finding a dupe. When you find something that works just as well as the high end version, that's when it's the best. That's when you get that rush of like, oh my gosh, I saved money and I have basically the same thing. It's not fun saving money on a product just to get it home and find out that it's awful and you feel like if I just spent a little bit more, I could have gotten something better. One of the comments that I saw on Instagram kind of summed this up really well. They said there's duping and then there's Makeup Revolution. Looks similar, but likely absolute crap quality. Now, to be fair, I don't think that every Makeup Revolution product is bad quality. I actually have found quite a few things from them that I really enjoy. Their new cream bronzer is awesome. I really love their Conceal and Define concealer. They have a cheek product that's similar to Charlotte Tilbury's Pinkgasm, and that also is really nice. So I don't think they're terrible, but I also feel like I've been burned a lot by them. So it makes me very wary of spending my money with them. Whereas with e.l.f., I feel like I've had pretty good luck with a lot of their products, and particularly their dupes, I think really hold up well to the original. So most of the time, those are more worth it for me. I would say the only dupe from e.l.f. that I can think of off the top of my head that I really didn't like was the CC cream, the Camo CC cream. That one is supposed to be like the It Cosmetics CC cream, and for me, it's just not. It just looked a lot drier on my skin than the It Cosmetics did. And in that case, I much prefer the It Cosmetics. Speaking of Charlotte Tilbury's Pinkgasm, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Peach Bums Blush Stick, which is such an amazing dupe for the Glowgasm wand. Even though that's a liquid and this is in stick format, they look identical on your cheeks. I actually compared the two in a video and they are like spot on, almost the same. So to be honest, I personally have mixed feelings on dupes. I know I do a lot of dupe videos, but to me, the most exciting dupes are ones like this, where they're a completely unintentional dupe, a product that has been around for years and years, and you come to find out that it's really similar to something that just came out. To me, those are way more exciting than something like the Shadow Kiss palette, which dupes the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but this is an exact shade for shade dupe, and clearly they meant to copy that. But with something like this, the Wet n Wild predates the Charlotte Tilbury one by quite a bit. It's just so much fun when you stumble upon something that is so similar and could save a lot of money. But that being said, I also don't have a huge problem with brands like e.l.f. or Alter Ego when they directly dupe a high-end product. And that's because of kind of what we touched on earlier. They dupe products that have been already out for a long time. For example, the Shadow Kiss palette from Alter Ego came out at least a year after the Glam palette. palette. And I think that at that point, most people have already purchased the original product if they were going to. And the Shadow Kiss palette is really catering toward those people who were not going to buy the glam palette anyway. Maybe it's out of their budget. Maybe they just think it's too expensive for an eyeshadow palette. And this just kind of fills that void and gives them a similar product at a better price point. For most of my life, up until my 30s, I couldn't afford high-end products. I used exclusively drugstore. And back then, especially when I was growing up, drugstore products were terrible quality. I think it's really nice that nowadays people have access to really high quality products at the drugstore and things that are similar to high-end, where they can get the same kind of looks out of it without spending a ton of money. There are always going to be people who are going to buy drugstore over high-end, and there are also going to be people who prefer to buy high-end over drugstore. So if someone generally buys from high-end brands, they're not going to buy the dupe. It's not going to take away from those expensive brands. And if people don't have the budget for high-end, then they weren't going to buy the high-end product anyway. For my lips, I'm going to use the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Ginger Snap, and this is a really good dupe for Fenty's Gloss Bomb in Hot Chocolate. I actually have a YouTube short where I compare the two, and they are almost identical. And this is another example of a product that was out long before the Fenty one. So anyway, I am mostly okay with dupes, but I do draw the line at copying from indie brands or smaller brands because dupes definitely take away from their business, and I also don't support counterfeit products, which are different than dupes in the sense that a counterfeit product is claiming to be the original. Those are those ones that you see on eBay or Amazon that claim to be, like, let's say the Natasha Denona Glam palette, but are a fake copy that often have very unsafe ingredients in them or are made in unsanitary conditions. So I don't support buying those either. But I think when it comes to brands like e.l.f. duping high-end, it's not quite as harmful because I really don't feel like it's hurting that brand that much. So I would love to hear your take down in the comments below. What do you think of Makeup Revolution's dupes? Do you not like them? Are you okay with it? Do you give other brands a pass, or do you just hate dupes altogether, like the whole concept? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I want to thank you so much for clicking on and watching today's video. I really appreciate your support so much. If you have some time and you'd like to check out another video, I'll go ahead and put one right here on the screen for you to check out. Thank you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all in my next video. Take care. Bye.